Maryland sports fans, there's only one sports book in the great state of Maryland with over 50 years experience booking bets and supporting customers. Betfred Sportsbook at Longshots is now open and is the only sportsbook in Frederick offering cash betting on football, basketball, world soccer, and more. Visit the Betfred Sportsbook at I-270 and MD-85 in Frederick, right next to Longshots off-track betting. Go to BetfredSports.com for more information and your chance to win exclusive merchandise. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian Cosme, right out of Oklahoma City. Today, we have a very cool podcast for you guys tonight. I'm sitting here with Shawn Peter from the band The Ghost Town Rebellion. What's up, man?
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
I'm just excited to get you guys on the show. To be honest with you, I remember when I first sent you an email, or I sent you a message on Facebook. And I said, hey, can I play some of your music? And you sent me a song. You didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was doing. So I think you're the second band to send me a song from bands I didn't know. So.
Well, I'm just happy to share my music. If anyone asks me can I have one of your songs? I'm just like, sure,
Play it.
More than to listen to it. If people like my music, that just makes me feel good.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't been in a band in a long time, and I kind of miss that feeling. And I don't know how you do it because you're busy. I'm busy. Like I wouldn't even have time. I barely have time to do this podcast, So that song you have, Diamond Queen, that has a really cool music video to it. When did you guys make that video?
We shot it in July. My guitar player had a mutual friend down in the Delta, down by Clarksburg on the Sacramento County side, and he lived right on the river in the middle of a peach orchard, and he's like, dude, I got the perfect spot to go film this. And so we went out there on the fly and then shot it in like 2 or 3 hours, so it was really, really quick.
That's fast, yeah.
Yeah, like we just did straight takes of the whole song, and then with his video editing genius, he spent about a month and a half editing it.
Yeah. So I do make a little bit of music with a buddy of mine who's a producer, and we just have fun with it, But he sits there, and he'll sit there for like 2 to 3 months sometimes, editing, adding things, changing things. Yeah. I tried to sit through just like an hour with him, and I was like, dude, no, I'm out. I don't have patience for that.
I do all the audio stuff mostly. That song actually was produced by Michael Rosen. Most people know him through bands like Papa Roach, Journey, Rancid, etc. And I met him about 10 years ago, and we started working with him about 2.5 years ago, recording. And so he's been kind of bringing us up to the next level, which has been awesome.
Dude, it is so... you guys must be... I know you guys can't go on tour right now because of everything. We kind of talked about that a little bit. Are there, even any venues you can play? Because Sacramento has, a lot of cool little bars and things like that,
Well, Sacramento's, everything's pretty much shut down. They're starting to do some outdoor kind of stuff, small groups, social distance and stuff. But as far as the bar scene goes and playing inside of a bar or inside venue, we're probably not going to see that until probably sometime early next year at least.
Yeah, man, and that's kind of sucks too because I'm actually from. I lived in Sacramento for a little bit. I'm from Vacaville. So, but I've lived in Davis and Sacramento, and the Sacramento scene has some of the coolest music, and your band just adds to that. I'm going to go ahead and play Diamond Queen right now since we only got, 45-minute podcast, and I want to get some of your songs knocked out, and I have some pretty good questions for you. So, here is Diamond Queen from the Ghost Town Rebellion.
Diamond Queen's got everything you need, right there in between the sheets. When I meet a town
Yeah, man, that song is catchy, dude. Do you write all the songs?
Mike, my other songwriting partner, he's the other vocalist that you see with the guitar player. We're the key songwriters, but the whole band actually writes together. So Mike and I will come up with the main idea, and then we bring it to the band. We kind of jam it out so we're happy with the structure, and then we go in the studio, and then the song will change to what the producer wants to do with it.
Well, it's very your cadence on all your songs. I listened to them. You have a really unique cadence style and the way you sing, and I think that really brings the band to the next level because of what you're doing with your vocal style.
Yeah, it's just something that Mike and I sing in the same timbre completely. So like, on that song he was singing the chorus lead, and I sing on the verses lead, and then during the verses he's doing harmonies, and during the choruses I'm doing the harmonies.
So who would you say like your main musical influences are? Because your style is very different. It's very your own. Like if I said what does that sound like? I would say it sounds like the Ghost Town Rebellion. You know, there's not really another band to compare it to. But what would be some of your like major influences, I guess, when it comes to songwriting and producing?
Songwriting, producing, you know, it's going to be very cliche. Like, you know, like Beatles, Beach Boys, Led Zeppelin, you know, Foo Fighters, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins.
For sure.
And then the band itself is very, very eclectic. We listen to a lot of things. Like, I think last couple of years, what's been in my CD player, like El King or Nathaniel Rateliff and Night Sweats, or we really like the Record Company. And then we listen to a lot of bands from Sacramento too that no one will ever hear unless they put out. And then we kind of like, that's the cool thing about Sacramento is like half the people at any given show are from any other band, and they could be a hip hop band or a country artist or rock artist or whatever it is, and then everybody just kind of goes to everybody's show still, which is still really cool, and that's been going on since as far as I know. And
sure.
We all really support each other. So, and then we all like vibe off each other too. So it's like, oh, they did that. Like we'll put like a hip hop beat or something, or a hip hop record's gonna go like, well, I like that little country twang that this band over here did because we were at their show the other day and they seemed like cool people and we liked their music.
And you're pretty talented because you play. I mean, I saw that you played the banjo. You play the trumpet, right?
Yeah, I was in the orchestra when I was a kid for like 6 years.
You sing? What other instruments do you play?
I can play bass. I used to play drums till I broke my wrist and I got my chops back after I did that. And then just basic stuff on the keyboard. And then I also play euphonium, which is like a small version of the tuba. So I can play trumpet and euphonium.
Man, how old are you?
44.
Well, hell, man, you don't look 44. I thought you were going to say like 32 or something. I was going to say, but 44, and so you probably really know all your instruments. You probably know them very well.
I would say so. Like, if I'm going to pick something up, Mike and I also both play lap steel. So, like, if I'm going to pick something up,
that's cool.
I want to learn. I want to learn it. I'm going to practice it, and so I'm happy with at least learning the basics of an instrument, because I've always been into like a wall of sound when it comes, like growing up and playing in the orchestra. You want to sound like an orchestra in your band, especially when we're recording. When we throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into a recording, so each song could have like, you know, as little as like 15 tracks or as high as like 50. I mean, we could have just like one instrument for like 10 seconds in part of the song, but it's like, well, we felt like that needed to be there.
Right. So, do you play banjo in your songs with the Ghost Town Rebellion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't play. There's usually always one or two songs on each record that will have a banjo part.
Man, so how long has the band been together?
I started working on the project about 7 years ago. And called A Single Second, and we toured the United States for a good 13 years, playing everything from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. and back and forth constantly, and that band just kind of stopped. We didn't break up; it just kind of stopped. And musically, I wanted to go in a different direction, adding like more of Americana feel and some going back to my roots of like blues and like folk music, but still wanting to be a heavy rock band, you know. So our fans kind of call us grit rock. So it's kind of like grungy, swampy, and bluesy.
It is. That's a good name for it. 'Cause I couldn't really classify because I was thinking, you know, they're kind of alternative, but they also have some of that bluegrass kind of feel. It's definitely rock, obviously, but it's very, like I said before, a very unique style. I think you guys must have a lot of fans. You know, every time you put something out there, I'm sure you get thousands of people that want to listen to it.
Our fan goes from like little kids to like people in their 60s and 70s, and they come to shows. It's like, which is really cool. So we have something for everybody. If we play a show by ourselves, we'll play for 3 straight hours nonstop. So we'll open up for ourselves acoustic, and then as the younger crowd starts coming in, then the older crowd kind of weeds out, and then the amplifiers turn on, and then it's like a full rock show for a couple hours.
That is so cool, man. I love it. If you guys ever come,
If we're playing late at night and the bar's thinning out, then we kind of bring it back down again, you know.
If you guys ever come to Oklahoma City, shoot me a message, because I will go to your show. I promise you I will go to your show. So,
the Midwest and the Southwest was on the tour. We had bookings and stuff, but because of COVID, we literally, like, since March have not played 80 shows.
God, man, that is so horrible. That is...
We usually play about 150 shows to 200 shows a year and we do right now we were doing the entire Pacific Northwest for about 5 straight years, and we actually had our first Southern California and Southwestern dates booked, and then it all stopped. We literally were in the middle of a 30-day tour when COVID happened.
Man, COVID's messed up with so many things for so many people. You know, I want to play your song, The Fall. And then I got some more good questions for you. Okay, this song is called The Fall. Hey, and Shawn, thank you for doing this podcast. We really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed doing this.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
I'm gonna pack a cigarette in a handful of change. 'Cause we're all about to change the world.
So when does your new album El Dorado drop?
Hopefully the end of this year. It got pushed back, like, we were supposed to be out in March, and then we're looking at June, and then the single Diamond Queen finally got released through Gateway Records, and so we're trying to, like, write off of that, and then we'll probably start dropping singles around the holidays off of El Dorado.
Okay.
So we're gonna do one single a month, every like 2 or 3 months with a new video.
That's the way to do it.
So all we've been doing in our spare time right now is just shooting music videos because that's all we can do as far as promoting ourselves.
Right.
We really, I think we're gonna do our first full band stream next month. So.
Do you have an album that you've done so far since you've been in this band that you would consider like your favorite album or like your favorite song on the album?
On this current album?
Yeah.
My favorite song is the one you just played, The Fall.
Okay.
That literally last minute edition we did in July. Because the album got pushed back, and then Mike and I have been writing and then we had that song, sent it to our management, and they're like, oh, dude, album's getting pushed back. Go back in the studio, record some more stuff. So we ended up recording 2 more songs, and then that song, we actually did that completely ourselves in our own studio. We have our own recording studio. We didn't work with Michael on that one. So I tracked all that myself, and we spent about a week on that song, and then 2 weeks total, actually. It took us about like 3 days to mix it, and then we mixed at Pus Cavern here in studio with Joe Johnson. He did all the original Cake records, the first couple of Cake records.
Okay.
And then he also mastered it. So,
do you have a favorite song out of every single song you've ever written? That's like in your head, like you every time you hear it, you're like, I can't believe I wrote that song. Mostly the most newest ones we write. For me, that's my favorite song so far. It's just kind of one of those songs I wanted, like, when we have everyone just kind of like, if we were to play it live, I would love to see everyone just jump up and down and bounce. You know, it's just kind of like a bouncy song. Yeah.
But I've had many. I think many songs. I'm like, wow, I actually wrote that. That's awesome.
That's pretty good. Every now and then I'll even do that. I'll come up, and I'm not a great writer, but I'll do something. I'm like, that's pretty. I'll listen to it later. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I did that, you know. And
yeah, and that still amazes me that that I have that. You know, I have some really good songwriting partners, and we get together and we have fun just creating something. And we all just love sitting in our cars, driving around together, and listening to our own music. I think that's when we have the most fun.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever critique yourself, like, I mean, obviously, I guess every band does that when you want to take something out, you know. But have you ever recorded something, it was done, it was produced, and then you go back in your head and like, you know, maybe we should go back and take this part out?
All the time. And sometimes even when we're working with our producers, sometimes him and I are on the same page, and sometimes we aren't. And I've actually taken some stuff that we did that we wanted to add some stuff to that he was like, no, I don't think we should do that. But we went and had to get it remixed anyway, so we ended up adding some stuff, and everybody was like, oh, that did sound better. So, yeah, there's plenty of material. Like, and then when you have songs, you start off as a band and you're playing and you really like the song, and sometimes it clicks with certain audience members, and then sometimes it doesn't. You're like, oh, God, what's wrong with this song? And then you might change a drum pattern or a beat, or you do take a part out of the song, and then it seems like everybody likes it at that point. You're like, that's what was missing, you know, or that's what we needed to happen to that.
You can analyze your own music, and it's also good when you can get the fan feedback and just from like the live performances and see maybe you need to make some adjustments, because not everybody, some people are just full of themselves and they're like, whatever, this is awesome, everyone needs to like it.
I'd honestly say 90% of what ends up on the record has been played in front of an audience probably about 100 times.
That's cool, man. What's the biggest? No, you got. Go ahead.
Like, we just, that's our thing. Like, we may find what's our favorite song that we like playing is not the favorite song even that they're like, oh, that's not the single. This is the single. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then it becomes a single, or you realize, but you're not really going to know, and not every song is going to work for everybody in the audience member, but 90% of what we play, I would say, we wrote a version of it, we tried it out, and then we went in studio, it became a better tune.
What tours have you guys, like, what tours have you been on, and where all have you played?
We mostly do our own tours, and
Okay.
if we are open for international or national act, it's just like a one-off gig somewhere on the road. We book our own tours, and we play everything. We have a 1,500-mile radius from here in Seattle, and so we're just constantly playing up and down I-5, Oregon, Washington, Western Nevada, Northern California, Central California right now. And then we were planning on playing, we were supposed to head out to South by Southwest this year and do a 2-week tour and do like a week out there, a week back, week out, and a week back and that all ended.
Real fast, huh? Happened real quick.
It literally happened. Unfortunately, like, we ended up just rebooking the tour while we were out and just taking any show we could just to get some revenue in so we can make it home.
Right? Yeah. Man, that just has to be tough for...
I'm like, do you need a band to play tonight? Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I think you have a good attitude about everything, with what's going on. At least you're staying positive about it. And you're still dropping singles and you're making music videos. And that's so important right now for bands because I think some bands just kind of gave up,
Gave up, and there's a lot of bands that are just like, oh, we should just play anyway. And it's just like, oh, and everyone keeps asking us to play right now. And we're just trying to be health conscious because we have a couple of members that do have some
underlying something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's for us because we're a family. So like we don't do anything until we all agree on it.
That's good.
We're very, very democratic in the band, and then we'll argue amongst ourselves like brothers and sisters. But once we all agree to an idea, then we all back each other up on that idea, and then whatever viewpoint we have and stuff. So forth.
Do you guys run your band like a business? I guess that's what you would say.
Yeah, we do run it like a business, but we also run it like a family, and we don't do anything that anybody doesn't want to do. Maybe the reason why that person doesn't want to do a certain thing is the right answer. What are the pros and cons to everything that we do at this point? Sometimes, we don't just take any gig we can unless we're in that situation. We're like, well, let's just play here tonight and see what happens.
Yeah. Have you ever accidentally played somewhere that you did not think was going to be a good show and it wound up being like super fun and excellent?
All the time.
I figured you were probably going to say that.
Yeah, all the time. And we're a rock band, but we also play our whole set acoustic. Like if we show up to a gig and we're like, rock show's not going to happen tonight, we're going to clear this room in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. So, and then we bust acoustic guitars out and we're doing MTV Unplugged, and we've actually done full tours. Like we're just going to do an acoustic tour and then just play acoustic and then just play a bunch of like really, really small venues that have like 30, 40 people in them and just make it intimate as hell.
Yes.
As heck. But we also bring our, we have our electric, again, like I said, we also have our amps and everything set up. So if the crowd's like, hey, let's raise some hell, then we're going to plug our guitars in and then tear the place up.
It's important to relate to your audience, and not everybody understands that. And relating to your audience is key. It's not that you're changing who you are to do something. It's you want to be relatable because you want people to like you and want to listen. And exactly. And that's how you grow your audience is relating. I have friends from all different walks of life and different spectrums because I try to even if I disagree with someone, I try to relate to them because I still like them probably,
No, I'm with you 100%. We could have completely opposite viewpoints on certain things and be completely 100% on something else. And
I wish everybody saw that. Unfortunately,
respect each other and agree to disagree sometimes. Then certain things we just don't talk about, but talk about other things that we both get along with.
Yeah. I do that all the time with some of my friends. I'm very picky and choosy about my conversations with a few of them. But because of that, our friendship has grown into a lot more than just, a casual, hey, what are you doing? So
Exactly.
let's play. We just played the fall. Yeah, we just played the fall. So we are going to play. The song is called "You." So
This is the big. Everyone thinks this is going to be the big single off the album.
okay, all right. Well, let's check it out right now. This song is called "You" by the Ghost Town Rebellion.
First time I saw you in the room, I lost myself and said that I need you. We'll take our time, get it right, and I'll remember this night for the rest of my life. Now I have found you just in time. We've shared so much bad luck that we'll leave behind. And I'll take you if you'll have me. Together we'll make our lives as it's meant to be. And I saw you, the one for me. And I saw you, and now I see. And I saw you, the one for me. And I saw you, and now I see. And I saw you, the one for me. And I saw you, and now I see. The first time I saw you in the room, I lost myself and said that I need you. We'll take our time to get it right, and I'll remember this night for the rest of my life.
I agree with everyone else that says that song is going to be the one because it starts off just really smooth to the ears.
Yeah, like it was. We were doing like something really, really jazzy, and then I got to do the sexy horn part.
Very sexy horn part, yeah. I heard that song actually sounds different than your other songs. Now the ending of it kind of sounds similar because you guys bring back that heavy guitar that I'm used to hearing in some of your other songs. That song, and I think Diamond Queen is also a really good, killer song.
Yeah, that was the first two songs we did with Michael Rosen. So we did those at the same time. We recorded those almost 2 years ago.
Okay. I was going to ask you, I was going to say that song was going to be a hit, and I had a question. I wrote it down somewhere, and I don't remember what I did with it. So I have like all these notes on my notepad, and I kind of cross them off as I go along, you know. And then sometimes I'm like, towards the end of the episode, it's just everything just looks like a big scribble. You know, like, where'd that go? Where'd that go? I don't know. But that's cool. We only have like 11 and a half minutes left anyways. So let's go with, you want to go with Poverty Ridge?
Yeah, let's go with Poverty Ridge, the opening track.
That's a cool name for, you know, all your songs. Diamond Queen that's a really, like, unique, like, that's a good name for a song.
It's, well, our songs are about real American history.
Oh, okay.
And then originally we started writing songs about Sacramento history and putting music to it because I'm a historian for the city. That's my day job. And then now it's just American history. And Diamond Queen is based off of, it's a montage to all the famous madams of the United States.
Okay.
And then Diamond Queen was an African-American madam in New Orleans, and her name was Lulu Diamond Queen White. And she was so well known that Dolly Parton's character in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is very loosely based upon her.
Really?
But she was a typical madam, and she like took, she was very successful, and then she also reinvested into the community and stuff like that. So, and then she tried to, and then when, you know, whoever the girls and stuff that were working with her, under her, she tried to encourage them to be proper businesswomen, elevate them, and then not be your typical, you know,
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I'm going to start a band, and I'm going to call it Diamond Queen, and we're going to be the Ghost Town Rebellion tribute band, and we're just going to cover all your songs.
That would be rad.
And then whenever you play a show, we're going to play the show the next weekend.
But that would be great.
that'd be kind of fun to do.
Go sit back and enjoy and have a beer and watch my song being played.
There you go. It's like you're watching yourself.
Exactly.
You got a twin brother we can add to the band?
What?
I said you got a twin brother we can add to the band?
I have a younger brother, but he's more like, you know, he's got long dreadlocks. So.
Cool. That's a good stage presence.
He does play trumpet, so he plays
Okay.
trumpet.
Hey, he's in the band. Call him after the show. Tell him you got a new band for him.
Okay.
Called Diamond Queen. And we just cover your songs. That's funny. Okay, we're going to go Poverty Ridge. And this will be the last song we play for the night. After this song's done, we're going to wrap the show up. And
Okay.
I want to thank all our listeners for listening to the Ghost Town Rebellion with us. And Shawn, you have been awesome. And we're going to talk more about your awesomeness right after we play Poverty Ridge.
Wake up to a stormy sky and watch the river
And there you go with Poverty Ridge. We are not going to get a chance to play Rabbit Hole or McClathy and Me, which I think that's also a cool name that I could also start a band with that name. So what are those two songs about?
Rabbit Hole is about the band being on the road and just being, starving, struggling artists. And, the hook is all these years facing our fears and expressing our soul. All these years facing our fears down that rabbit hole. So, and it's got kind of like I don't know, like, I was thinking of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe, that rabbit hole of life, that rabbit hole of trying to be successful and being your own, that kind of thing. And then McClatchy and Me is about the Sacramento squatters' rights and how we got the Sacramento Bee in Sacramento. It happened on my birthday in 1850, a big 3-day gun battle in downtown Sacramento.
I think it's really cool that, lately I've been interviewing a lot of bands, doing a lot more band interviews and just playing a podcast. I enjoy the band interviews. They don't get the best, recognition as much as, because you could tag a bunch of different bands that get shared a bunch of different times. But I ask so many bands that, that question, and what does their song mean? And sometimes they're they have no idea what to say. What do you mean, what does it mean? It's awesome. I'm like, yeah, but what does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no. Every song we have, and there's not one song that I'm not going to tell you the meaning behind it. And whether Mike sings lead on it or I sing lead on it, because we both know what the meaning of every song is. So we try to really work on our craft and make something that not only that we enjoy, that everybody else is going to enjoy.
Well, I think that's awesome, man. I think your music is great. I think you're just a super nice guy. I thank you for doing the podcast. Let's also thank you for sending me your song when I first started this, 2 months ago, and it's growing like crazy, and I absolutely love it. We're getting a lot of good bands. Thank God, we're getting a lot of good bands finally. I was scared. I would have been scared to do an interview with you a month ago, but after some of the bands I've interviewed that are pretty good, I'm like, okay, I can pull this off. So that's why I asked if you wanted to do one. So I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Do you have any shout outs to any bands that you want to say before we end the podcast?
Bands that need some love right now. My friends Drop Dead Red. My good buddies Malcontent got back together in Vacaville.
They were on my show.
Yeah.
They did a podcast with me. Yeah, I love those guys.
Right on. And then Cities Wish You Were From. My buddies from Ireland who are now living in Vacaville on off. Chrome Rose. For the Kids. So that's all the local bands I've been really listening to right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're actually working on getting on for an interview.
You want to just talk to a bunch of fun old school. I mean, they're from Ireland. They moved here about 7 years ago.
I know. I looked it up.
And they're a riot. We toured those guys all the time. Like, we'll be out on the road, and it just works out where we come together for about a week. In the middle of nowhere, and we're like hanging out and partying really hard for like a week because sometimes we're the only people in the venue.
Right?
But most of the time, the shows are pretty good, but it's really fun to, when you're out, because they do it like us, just go out and book a bunch of shows, and if we can hook up and do some stuff together, then yeah, let's make something happen. And it just makes the night so much more fun when because you're away from home, and it's kind of like, we're hanging out with not just your bandmates, but your other homies, and we all like drink one off every night and go and drive to the next town, do it again. So
yeah, Paulie's a super nice dude.
Yeah. Then we'll split off, and then we'll see each other when we get home and laugh about what happened on the road and try and set something else up.
Well, I think that about wraps everything up. Is there anything else you want to say about your album, or any last words? You want anyone to know anything special about your band? You got 45 seconds.
You can find us on all, the normal formats: YouTube, iTunes, Twitter, Facebook. Find our music on Amazon, Spotify, Pandora. We have 2 albums up. One's called Herbs and Dominant. We have a second album up called Silver and Gold. We have 2 singles out on Gateway Records. One is a cover song, I'm on Fire, And then, of course, a new original, Diamond Queen, which dropped about 4 weeks ago.
I'm on Fire is a really good song, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. A big Boss fan, and I just wanted to do something different and rock the hell out of it, and it's always been a stage favorite. And Gateway heard that they were doing a cover. After they picked up Diamond Queen, this is the whole story how that happened. They picked up Diamond Queen, and then I got a call 2 days later. This song's great. We're doing a cover compilation. You guys got any covers? I'm like, yeah, we do. I'm on Fire. I'm like, perfect. Send it in. So we went literally the next day, recorded it, mixed it, sent it over, and they're like,
Fire.
I think we, yeah.
All right, well, I got to cut the show off. Thank you to all the listeners for listening to The Loud Spot. This was an interview with the Ghost Town Rebellion. Thank you, Shawn, for being on the show, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.